national newspaper called Die Zeit is published in which European country?
Germany.
Correct!
Blank.
John, in astronomy, what D is a word that can follow red, white and brown to make the names of 3 different types of star?
Pass.
Dwarf. Noel, in the USA, the abbreviation for the state of Hawaii spells which common 2-letter word of greeting?
Hi.
Correct, David. In the early 1950s, which actor spent 6 years in a monastic order before doing his national service? Tom. Time's up. I can't complete the question. You banked £1,750. You had a chain of 12 correct answers. So yet again, you could have reached your target. So, has Noel been taking the mickey? Does the doctor need medical help? Is John now out of tune? Or is Camille just thick? It's time to vote off. Weakest link.
With the most right answers, Noel is statistically the strongest link. John goes from being the strongest link in the last round to the weakest in this. But who will survive the vote?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Camille.
John. Camille.
John.
Well, we have another tie team. John and Camille have 2 votes each. John,
Yes.
why Camille?
Well, David had said earlier we're keeping it all in the family, you know, first. Well, the family's all here. But we have to now start thinking about the charities. So that's why I just had to.
Camille,
Yes.
why John?
This is really boring, but I thought that John was going to be safe. And also, he's so good. He's too good. Oh, and he's gorgeous.
OK, when the vote's tied, the strongest link has to cast the deciding vote. And the strongest link was Noel. Why did you vote for John?
He got the dwarf star question wrong, and I think he was the only person that got one wrong, I think.
You have a choice. You can stick with John or change to Camille.
I'm going to stick with John.
John was the worst player. He was the only one to get a question wrong. Camille actually answered all her questions correctly and banked £750. John, you are the weakest link. Bye.
Anne is something very different from the aliens that we deal with in Torchwood. The only thing that she has in common with the aliens, she's got attitude. And Jack finds that sexy. If Anne were ever to come onto Torchwood, I think that Jack and Anne would create some waves.
Round 7, and you have £13,150. 3 of you left, another 10 seconds coming off the time. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round, that's Noel. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Noel, in art, what is the usual English name for the colour that is known in French as rose?
Red.
Pink. David, in pop music, My Generation and Pinball Wizard were UK hit singles in the 1960s for which rock group?
The Who.
Correct. Camille.
Thank.
What E means to destroy utterly and is used by humans with reference to pests such as rats and by dialects about pests such as humans?
Exterminate.
Correct. Noel, in which Olympic sport that is part of the modern pentathlon are competitors warned to get ready for a bout with the words "on guard"?
Fencing.
Correct, David. In the Austin Powers films, the arch-enemy of the title character is called Dr. What?
Evil.
Correct, Camille.
Bang.
In horse racing, the slang term pony is betting parlance for how many pounds?
Pass.
25. Noel, in a threat that is rarely carried out literally, which parts of the body might a furious person say he will have for garters?
Guts.
Correct, David. In circus equipment, what T is the term for a horizontal bar hanging by 2 ropes and free to swing?
Trapeze.
Correct. Camille, which word of religious origin precedes mackerel, smoke and cow to make 3 exclamations of surprise?
Holy.
Correct, Noel.
Bang.
Which landmark is depicted on the cover of the Pink Floyd album Animals and in 2006 featured in Doctor Who as the site of the Cyber Factory?
Battersea Power Station.
Correct, David. In folklore, the strange light that is said to lead travellers away from well-trodden paths into treacherous bogs is called Willow the what?
Wisp.
Correct, Camille. In biology, given the same volume, which bodily tissue weighs more, muscle or fat?
Muscle.
Correct.
Bang.
Noel, in TV, the phrase most associated with the third incarnation of the Doctor is reversed. Time's up. I can't complete the question, and you won £1,600. Now, in round 8, you get the chance to treble what you bank, which means in the next round there is £15,000 to be won. Before that, it's time to vote off the weakest link.
For the first time in the game, David is the strongest link. Camille is statistically the weakest link. But who will be taking the final walk of shame?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
David.
No.
David.
Well, if I was David, I know where I'd put the sonic screwdriver. Noel, did you think David was the worst player?
No.
Why are you getting rid of him?
I would never, ever have voted David, but he voted me earlier, and it was really uncalled for, because I wasn't the worst player, and so, payback, man.
Camille, what's your excuse?
He voted for me earlier, and I thought, oh, all right, I'll just do David. Oh, but you know I love you, don't you?
Well, it's too late. We've moved on.
David, I think you're gorgeous.
God bless you, Anne. Feelings entirely mutual.
But you are the weakest link. Bye.
I don't know that Anne would be a particularly successful companion for the Doctor. I think Anne probably should be the 11th Doctor. In fact, I think she's probably lined up already to take over as soon as I leave. Camille was determined she was going out in the first round, so it might be quite funny if she makes it to the end as the eventual winner.
Round 8, you have £14,750. 2 of you left in this round. There's 90 seconds, but whatever you win will be trebled. You voted off the strongest link from the last round. Shame. So we'll start with the second strongest, that's Noel. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Noel, in science, the alliterative name for an energy source that is derived from the petrified remains of ancient organic matter is fossil what?
Pass.
Fuel. Camille, in France, what V is the name of the town southwest of Paris that is famous for its palace built in the 17th century for Louis XIV?
Versailles.
Correct. No. In TV, although their acting styles are very different, Gillian, who starred in The X-Files, and Pamela, who was in Baywatch, share what surname?
Anderson.
Correct, Camille.
Bang.
In spelling, according to the old joke, the words psychology and a swimming pool are alike because in both of them you get a silent what?
Pass.
P. Noel, in Doctor Who, the 6 words, don't you think she looks tired, bring down a government run by whom? Tony Blair or Harriet Jones?
Harriet Jones.
Correct, Camille. In fashion, what name was given to the skirt that was popularised by Mary Quant in 1965 when she made it several inches shorter?
The Mini.
Correct, Noel.
Bang.
In common British birds, the underparts of blue tits are which other primary colour?